Hello, this is Dragonfly, and this is my Halo 5 Forge video showcasing a machine learning model that I created for Halo 5 Forge. So this was actually entirely done through Halo 5 Forge's built-in scripting, and I used this map called Basin created by 343 Industries as a template to showcase my machine learning model and how it could be applied to gameplay. So let's go ahead and get started then. I'm gonna go ahead and switch to player position. And what this AI model is going to do is it's going to create a forecast to determine which team has the better chances of victory, and it is going to help the team that is forecasted to lose the match. Now, throughout this video, you're going to be hearing some audio cues determining which side is currently winning, currently forecasted to win right now.
Gain the lead.
That means red team is forecasted to win right now, but that's kind of as a default. Now, we're gonna go ahead and update the forecast a bit, and we're gonna change it so blue team will be the team that is forecasted to win.
Gain the
So how are we
lead.
going to do this right now? We're gonna go ahead and interact with some of the objects in our map, and that way we're going to go ahead and change this forecast. So let's go ahead and grab this weapon to see if it can go ahead and change the forecast.
Gain the lead.
Alright, so the forecast is still showing us red team to be the winning team, but that should be able to change shortly. And let's go ahead and grab another weapon to accelerate the change of the forecast.
Gain the lead.
Alright, so looks like red team is still forecasted to win, and that's okay. Let's go ahead and interact with some additional items to see if we can make a difference.
Lost the lead.
There we go. Now we went ahead and updated the forecast. So looks like blue team is the team that is determined to win right now. So let's go ahead and create a few more fluctuations and see how else we can go ahead and update this and what the AI does in response to this negative forecast. So let's go ahead and hop onto our Scorpion for red team.
Lost the lead.
Now I'm going to stop here and advise you that a
Gain the
player's
lead.
position also affects the forecast. Looks like red team is already forecasted to win because depending on which weapon and vehicle that you're using, this actually heavily changes the forecast. The reason behind this is that
Gain
the
the
AI
lead.
uses a system to gather data through the use of something called a data point, which is a counter use for record keeping purposes, and it tells the AI which team is forecasted to win right now. So since red team
Gain the
is
lead.
still gaining data points for standing in the middle of the map using the Scorpion, among other things, then the AI is going to go ahead and make a response to help the losing team. So let's go ahead and see how the AI can actually respond
Gain
to
the
this
lead.
forecast.
Gain the lead.
So as you can see, since red team is forecasted to win, the AI responded to the forecast by sending a fireball my way to try to go ahead and kill me and disrupt my advances. But that's not the only thing the AI can do. The AI can do a lot of other cool stuff as well, such as supplying the forecasted losing team with weapons and items as well. So it should start respawning the vehicles I just destroyed. And that should be done shortly. So let's go ahead and continue destroying these vehicles to see what else the AI will go ahead and respond with. So this time I'm going to use the enemy team's Scorpion.
Gain the lead.
So as you can see, since I'm still forecasted to win, Looks like the AI decided to spawn some mongoose and mongoose and ghosts in response to my aggression, and it should be spawning other vehicles
Gain the
shortly.
lead.
But let's see what else it managed to spawn in its base.
Gain the lead.
Alright, so it looks like it went ahead and spawned a Wraith in response to my aggression and the forecasted chances of victory. And so the AI is just gonna go ahead and keep looping through this until the forecast
Gain
changes.
the
So
lead.
how is the forecast actually determined? Well, that's actually determined the following way. As you can see, you have certain items and vehicles that have a given boundary to them, and these boundaries actually serve as trackers. So basically, if a player of a specific team is using a tracked vehicle or weapon, then that's actually going to contribute to something called data points, which I previously mentioned is a counter for record keeping purposes. Each team has its own data points, and the more data points you have, the more chances of victory you have, and therefore you'll be the winning bet according to the AI. And these data points can actually stack, and some weapons and items contribute more data points than others due to how deadlier they are compared to their counterparts. So, for example, if you're driving a mongoose, you're going to earn 1 data point per second. But if you're driving a wraith, you're going to earn 3 data points per second. If you're using a battle rifle, for example, you're going to earn 1 data point per second. But if you're using a Spartan laser, then the team is going to be earning 3 data points per second. Now, if you had both a DMR and a Spartan laser equipped, and you were driving a Wraith, then you would be earning about 7 data points per second because they would be adding up. And this actually makes sense simply because the AI is thinking if you have more weapons and vehicles in hand and you spend more time using those items, then you have higher chances of victory and you're generally performing better than the enemy team. But that's not all. Player proximity to a base can also contribute data points. So if somebody from red team is inside blue team's base, they're going to be earning data points for simply being in the enemy team's base because they are closer to reaching their objectives, such as capturing the flag. Now, if they were in the middle of the map, then they would also be earning data points for that. And that's not all. And the AI would go ahead and help the forecasted losing team with weapons, vehicles, and friendly AI. And they would also the AI would also go ahead and modify the spawns of the forecasted losing team to spawn closer to the enemy team's map. So spawning them in mid instead of spawning them in their base, or spawning them closer to power weapons and vehicles that would help them turn the tide of battle. And the exact same thing would apply to red team as well if it was forecasted as the losing team. Keep in mind, a Spartan laser and a sniper rifle has not been spawned in this base. In fact, no vehicle has been spawned in this base. But in this part of the map, we do have a Spartan laser and a sniper rifle spawned here, along with the vehicles that were previously destroyed. This one belongs to blue team, so it hasn't been destroyed yet. But generally, that's pretty much how it works. And I successfully created a machine learning model that can actually learn over time by tracking player data and create a forecast and make a decision based on that forecast. Also, keep in mind that this forecast can actually carry over to future rounds. So the data that it collected is actually preserved in the next rounds and the next rounds and the next rounds. So it already has a decision made in mind by the time the round starts in the next round. Also, keep in mind that any weapons obtained in the middle of the map also contribute data points as well, since that indicates that you're making progress and you're earning an offensive advantage in the middle of the map as well. So it's pretty interesting how I came up with this. It's very helpful and very experimental. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and thank you for watching, and have a good day.